Meeting Monday, May 16, 2022. I'm wondering if there are any board members or you, President Pink, have any guests that you would like to introduce?
I do not.
Anyone? Just a note to our audience that Trustee Lopez may have to leave our meeting early today because of an unavoidable commitment. So when he leaves, it's not because he's defiant over something any one of us said. It could be that, but it's not necessarily that. First item on our agenda is to review the agenda and to approve it. Trustees, now's the time to move anything from our consent agenda, if you are so inclined to do that for further consideration. Any additions or changes to the agenda as it was presented? Hearing none, a motion please to approve the agenda. Support. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. That carries. Now we open the meeting up for public comment. This is the opportunity for anyone who wishes to address the board on any matter that relates to today's agenda. If you're inclined to do that, just come to the front and introduce yourself. Limit your comments to 3 minutes. Note that the board will not respond, although we will listen to your comments. For anybody who's in our virtual audience, you can use the chat function to put your questions in front of us there. Seeing no one coming to the forward, special order of business, we do have a Michigan New Jobs Training Agreement that needs our approval. I'm going to invite Lisa to the podium to explain that agreement. Lisa.
Thank you and good afternoon. Included in your packet was a new Michigan New Jobs Training Program agreement, along with a resolution allowing us to move forward with that. The agreement is with Dover Pumps and Process Solutions Segment, Inc. I had to read that. They are a Grand Rapids company. The total agreement is for $400,000. The format will be consistent with all of the Michigan New Jobs Training Program agreements that we bring before you, and that a revenue bond would be issued. There are currently 236 full-time employees with Dover, and they are adding at least 49 new employees. Again, the total amount is $400,000. The resolution allows us to move forward with executing the agreement between GRCC and Dover, and then moving forward with the revenue bond as needed. Happy to answer any questions that you might have.
We have a narrative summary in front of us. Any questions for Lisa? Hearing none, a motion to approve as presented.
So moved.
Is there support for that?
Support.
Thank you. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Lisa, don't go anywhere. Let's go to monitoring reports. Give us a financial update.
All right, I will. Included in your packet were the April financial statements. Would be happy to answer any questions that you may have on those. We are still running very much in line with the information that we shared with you at the specific budget work session a couple of weeks ago. So no significant changes since then. We are still waiting on a number of pieces of information as we move towards bringing you a full budget in June for your consideration and approval. Most specifically, we do not have any additional information about the state aid or state appropriation. That is one of the largest pieces that we are estimating. If you'll remember, we have that incorporated into the budget proposal for next year at a 3% increase. Proposals coming out of the House, Senate, and the governor's office all vary greatly. The Revenue Consensus Conference is scheduled for this Friday at the state level. Once that happens, we'll get a little bit better information as to where that might be headed. But until that happens, we won't typically get any additional information. So we are very much awaiting that to see if we can get some better sense of direction as to where the state might be headed. With that, again, the statements are in your packet. One of the things I might point out is that, bless you, that the debt service has some activity. Our May 1 debt payments were all made in accordance with budget. The rest of it is, again, pretty consistent with what we have talked about both 2 weeks ago and in prior months.
Questions for clarification for Lisa? Hearing none, thank you so much. Thanks. Let's go on to reports. We don't have a student report or a foundation update. I do have some comments from this chair. Just for those of you in our audience, a brief update on where we are in the presidential search. We have set in place a framework that will guide our search process for our next president. leadership profile will be introduced later this month to stakeholders for their review and comment on that. We'll be entering an agreement with a search firm within the next few days or so, or weeks or so, to assist us with this process. And our expectation is that we will make an appointment by the end of the calendar year. Our number one priority is to get the best candidate possible. Our number two priority is to do that as quickly as we can. We have some confidence that we can do this work, this important work, and have it accomplished by the first of the year. Updates are posted regularly on the board section of the GRC website for those who want to pay closer attention to where we are and what we are doing. And over the past month, we have given careful consideration to who will be leading us during the time President Pink leaves us and a new president is selected. And as a board, we're ready to make an interim president appointment. And may I have a motion, please, to name Dr. Juan Oliveras as our interim president?
So moved.
Is there support for that?
Support.
Thank you. Any more discussion? We've had a lot of interesting and fun and exciting discussion around that. All those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Those opposed say no. That motion carries, and we will begin immediately the process of reaching an agreement with Dr. Oliveras. We've had conversations with him as late as just an hour ago. He's excited about the opportunity and is looking so forward to coming back to this place to serve us as our interim president. With that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Dr. Pink. Any updates from you?
Yes, just real quick, thank you, Chairperson Cucci, to the board. I congratulate you with that identification of Dr. Oliveras in the interim role here at GRCC. Dr. Oliveras having the history he has not only at GRCC, but the history he has in this community will be, I think, a great move in terms of the work that he will engage upon as you have this time period. So thank you and congratulations on that appointment. Very quick, I want to inform you to the board, we continue to really do some really strong and good work in terms of identifying property for our Public Safety Training Center project. We told you several weeks ago that the property at 3 Mile and Bristol in Walker was our primary location that we were looking at. That work continues in getting closer to having that fully identified as far as agreement with the owner. That's really encouraging right now. City of Walker, from Mayor Carey to others, city leaders being very excited about GRCC and the possibility of this public safety training center being in their community. It's always nice when you have meetings with owners of property and the city shows up at that to voice their support, which is what we were what Lisa and her team experienced today. So that continues. Also a pre-thank you to Chairperson Cucci and to Trustee Brunsma on our visit coming up on Wednesday to the Capitol, to Lansing, to have conversation with several legislators around the Public Safety Training Center, as well as our capital outlay project that we've proposed to the state. Those are two very important projects to our campus right now, and for you to accompany us to help them know the support of the board of those two projects is very valuable. So I thank you in advance for that support. Happy to take any questions from the board on in that or any other matter at this time.
Anyone?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll move on. I believe we don't have any communication to the board. I don't think we do, which leads us to the consent items. Now's the time to approve the consent items as were presented in our packet. A motion, please, to approve those.
So moved.
Is there support for that?
Support.
All in favor say aye. All opposed, that same sign. That motion does carry. We do have a few action items. We have some purchases over 100,000. May I'll accept a motion to approve those purchases over 100,000 as were identified in our packet. Thank you. Support for that? Is there support? Any question on those purchases? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We have a contract we are privileged to approve. I'm going to invite Lisa back to the podium to explain that to us so that we can take action on that.
Yes, thank you. I am pleased to be able to bring to you the proposed contract for our POLC, or Police Officers Labor Council bargaining group. This is a 3-year contract beginning July 1 of 2022, going through June 30 of 2025. Would like to thank the bargaining team, a couple in this room, but we had a team of both our officers as well as several from our team, along with a representative of POLC that negotiated through this contract. It has been ratified by our campus police team. Just as a reminder, there are 12 sworn officers on this group, as well as 3 dispatchers. So that is who we are talking about covering with this. There were several, I'm going to call them smaller language changes, a couple that dealt with the sick leave bank and access to that, language around the composition of the POLC bargaining team, just some clarification there, some clarification and commitment for officers if they would become disabled in the line of duty working here at JRCC and our obligation to them. Some comments, clarification really around the selection process for promotion, consistent with what we've been doing, however, just added some clarification language, and then language changes to clarify and update some of the benefit provisions within the contract. As far as the financial package, we are adding some charges which are consistent with all of our other bargaining units around parking on campus, just to bring this group into parallel with our other units. Adding a small fitness incentive, which would be in the form of a stipend every other year for those officers that choose to take advantage of that. The contract does provide for step movement in each of the 3 years for those officers that are moving through step. Officers that are moving through step have about a 3.5 to 3.9% increment when they move from one step to the next. Salary schedule itself increase proposal is 3% in year 1, 3% in year 2, and a stipend, a $500 stipend for all of those bargaining unit members covered under this agreement in year 3, with a wage reopener that either side could invoke for us to come back to the table in year 3 to renegotiate something for the 24-25 fiscal year. We have also agreed to increase the shift differential for those officers that are working on our second shift, from 25 cents per hour to 50 cents per hour, which brings them in line with other groups on campus, similarly situated in a second or third shift schedule. With that represents close to a 10% increase over the 3 years, consistent with parameters. We'd be happy to answer any questions and then ultimately look for your approval.
Nice work. Any questions of Lisa?
With the 12 sworn officers, are we fully staffed?
Yes.
Lisa, this is the first time, if I understand you correctly, that officers may have some compensation if they're injured?
There would have been likely, depending on the injury, a legal obligation, depending on the injury and where it took place. But yes, we are putting that into the contract to clarify that obligation.
Thanks. Other questions? Ready to vote on it? A motion, please, to accept that contract as presented.
Support.
Support? Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you very much.
Thank
Nice
you.
work. Very good, very good. We've now reached the time in our meeting where we have our second opportunity for public comment. This is a time where you can come to the podium and make comment on any matter that relates to the college. The same parameters apply, limited to 3 minutes. We may not respond right now, but we will listen to those comments. Seeing no one moving to the podium, I'm going to ask trustees if they have any parting comments before we adjourn our meeting.
I have a quick comment, Chairperson Cucci. I want to just actually speak to my parents who are watching from Chicago. I'm here, I exist here because of them, generally speaking, but I also exist in this seat in large part because of them. My parents' example of service and the emphasis they placed on education my whole life growing up. And I want to single out my mom because it's her birthday today. So if you'll indulge me, I just have a few words. She is a first-generation American. She is the daughter of immigrants. She spent her entire life in education. As a teacher and then as an alumni director of the college she attended in Wisconsin. And to this day, she engages in creating opportunities for everyone. She sees that there are disparities and wants to help fix them. So happy birthday, Mom. Thank you.
So nice, thanks.
That's awesome.
Thanks, that's awesome.
I'd also like to just draw a bit of attention to the national recognition that GRCC received at our middle college program, one of 3 institutions in the nation, and it really is a tremendous honor and quite a feat in a short period of time.
Anyone else?
I just remembered, I think it was about a month ago now, I attended the ODEI community program with Dr. Luke Woods. I think he's out of California, but the title was Strategic Planning and Interweaving Equity, something like that. And so I bring it up to say it was an excellent program, great insight, a lot of transferable practical information. I encourage us to explore the video and the PowerPoint tiles. And then there was an article, I believe it's from Diversity Inc., talking about the role of board members and student achievement that I'll share. But it seemed powerful. Both do. So I encourage us to kind of grapple with that a little bit.
Thank you. Anyone else? Going once? Thank you. Thank you very much. Our meeting is adjourned. And Sally, you have to stay until you told me when you were going to leave. The rest of us are going to go home.
Misty, are all the IT people, sorry,
Can't hit the
are all
right. He was
IT
close.
people here?